If you're trying to drive more direct bookings right now, here's the reality. They don't just magically happen. You have to actually stay in front of your guests. And one tool I've actually been recommending for a very long time is StayFi. What's really cool about them is that they turn your Wi-Fi itself into a data capturing tool. So every time a guest connects, you're collecting contact info, and not just from the one who booked, but from everyone who's staying in the property. And that's a huge unlock because most operators don't even own even a fraction of their guest data. And in a time of AI, data is king. From there, StayFi actually helps you turn that into bookings with automated emails, post-stay follow-ups, and campaigns that bring guests back. I've seen portfolios collect tens of thousands of guest emails and more than double their direct bookings in less than a year with this StayFi feature. And if you don't have time to run all of that, or you prefer to be more hands-off, they now offer managed email marketing services where their team just handles it for you. They've also made their setup way easier with a new hardware option called Aginet, which is up to 40% cheaper than traditional setups. So if you've been thinking about building a real direct booking engine, now is a fantastic time to start. Head to stayfi.com/goodmorninghospitality to learn more and to get 50% off your first 3 months. That's stayfi.com/goodmorninghospitality.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We got a new old face in here. I'm not calling you old. You are getting old, but welcome back, Will.
Hey, I missed you guys. I had to give a little proof of life every now and then too. So I was thinking like, Jamie's gone. Gotta show some face. But it's good to see you guys. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. How were your 4th of July's?
Happy 250th.
Yes.
Yeah, 250.
Nothing wild here. It's blazing hot as it is, I think, in most of the country. And with the 2-year-old and fireworks out late, we didn't do a ton. We went out a little bit in the morning, but kept away from the afternoon heat.
Yeah, smart. Did the same, kind of walked around, chilled, nothing crazy. I was supposed to go camping, but with all the wildfires in Colorado, we decided to not go camping. There was a ton of smoke, fire bans, all the stuff. But I'm kind of regretting that. I'm like, man, no one else went camping. I should have gone camping. That's the whole point. It's like, it would have been perfect.
Breathing in all those fires. Yeah. Awesome.
Breathing that in, or like just not having a fire on your own. That would have been the only downside, but man, would have been totally worth it. I don't know. That's just me. B, what'd you do?
So I'm up in the Adirondacks, and this might be the only place where it is not blazing hot. It was really hot the first couple days, but I'm in a sweatshirt currently because it is chilly on the lake. But yeah, also like a pretty calm 4th of July. Like a lot of my extended family's up here, but I'm the only one of my siblings here. So like in our house, it was chill, good food, but I slept a lot. That's actually the highlight. 2 nights in a row, I slept for 10 hours, and that was just incredible.
Let's go. It's like dancing for 20 hours.
Yeah, exactly. You're a girl that can do both.
You gotta balance it, Brandy. Good balance.
Brian, if you're listening, it's a girl that can do both on the show. So just FYI. She could dance for 20 hours. She could sleep for 20 hours. It's good.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to. And you went hiking with Andreas.
Yeah.
Co-founder.
Yeah, a little Romy reunion. Andreas was up here with his kids. So we had some fun walks in the wilderness, which was always nice. Reminiscing about the old days. It's almost a year ago that Romy was sold. So it's just, it's really interesting to do like a flashback to where we were emotionally this time last year. And just like kind of seeing how life has gone since then. But I'm happy to report that we're both doing really well.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I was going to say tomorrow's my 1 year at Skift. So,
congratulations.
I think we're all hitting our 1 years. Where's the applause button? Hang on.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, 1 year. I can't believe it.
Congrats, buddy. It's been
you too, Brandy.
Thank you.
It's flown by.
Yeah, wasn't July last year a fun time for all of us when we were all like having these big things happen and none of us could really say anything? We're just like, well, I don't have sold the business, can't tell nobody, but hey,
look at how big my eyes are.
The stress.
It's so, yeah. Not being as stressed out is pretty electric, I have to
Yeah.
say.
Quality of life, 10 out of 10 has improved.
Yeah.
Now, I must call out that the first weekend of July, Brandy's out of town. So
Yes.
congrats. You made
Yeah.
it.
I
your
made
4
it.
weeks.
Made it the whole month of June. But in my defense, I'm still I'm at a house that is mine. So, and I drove here. So does that still count as travel?
I'll give you a half a point.
It's out of town.
Yeah, it's out of
It's
town.
out of town.
Yeah, you're gonna see varying backgrounds this summer because I'm trying to find the best place in our camp like to do this. So we'll see. You'll have to let me know what looks best as I go throughout the summer.
Yeah. Well, one quick comment before we get into things. Last week, VRMA announced probably their biggest speaker ever, Glenn Fogel, the CEO of Booking.com. And if you've never heard Glenn speak, he's fantastic. He's very like direct and blunt and Northeastern, but that's in a very, very endearing way.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited for Glenn to come to, got to be his first Verma.
Yeah, unless he's been in stealth mode before.
Certainly his first Verma.
or a long time ago, pre our time.
Yeah, well, he didn't own Booking at that point. So
what, 20 years ago?
He was the one that led the acquisition of Booking, but he wasn't the CEO of the company until probably 6, 7, 8 years ago. Not too long ago. So Glenn, welcome. We're excited to have you.
Yeah,
welcome to the STR side.
That is a speaker I'm very excited to actually go listen to.
Well, not to shameless plug, but also if you guys come to Skip Global Forum in September, you get to see Glenn speak on stage along with Arian Gordon, Brian Chesky, and all the big three OTA CEOs. So just a little shameless plug. Had to do it. Sorry,
Gotta
guys.
do it. Gotta do it.
You got all the big ones, all the big folks.
We got the big players. But what are we talking about today on the show?
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about whether OTAs are building for AI agents or not. We'll go into some unexpected World Cup benefits for certain countries. But before we jump into all of that, we want to give a shout out to our sponsor, StayFi. StayFi helps short-term rental operators build direct guest relationships through branded Wi-Fi portals, email marketing, and guest data tools that turn one-time bookers into repeat guests. So start growing your direct booking revenue today at stayfi.com/goodmorninghospitality. And you can find that link in the show notes as well. That's how you get those secretly hidden emails from the OTAs. This is how you get the actual guest information.
100%.
So our first topic today is how OTAs are no longer, you the customer are not who OTAs are trying to win over now. They are now trying to win over the trust of AI agents who are looking and searching and trying to potentially book trips on behalf of consumers. So people are no longer what the OTAs are building for. It's the AI agents.
Technology has evolved so quickly. How long did it take for Google to be the force, the power? It took years. There was Yahoo and AOL and Netscape and all these other folks, and Google probably took a decade to win out. I don't know if there's any internet historians out there, but somebody can tell me how long. But the switch from Google to agentic search has happened so fast. Like 2023, I think, was when the first model was released. So we're talking 3 years ago, but really in the past year, we went from single digit searches to now greater than 50% searches. And when a change happens that fast, it catches everybody's eyes. And the OTAs own the market. They dominate SEO. They dominate SEM. They spend billions and billions of dollars on ads every year. And this is the biggest threat the OTAs have had in a long, long time. They're the incumbents. They're in pole position to win this race. But there's a gap in time that individual management companies, owners, hotels can actually adopt the agentic way of searching and be found and compete and disintermediate the OTAs.
Yeah, it's interesting. We had Jason from Kismet on a couple of weeks ago, and that is like, not a sponsor, but definitely a way that you can, as an operator in this period of time, compete with those big OTAs and getting your, having your inventory be searchable and available. And I think a really interesting part of this that I didn't understand before is that if you have dynamic pricing or things of that nature, like that's not readable. And so Jason showed us at Prime this like example of one of our websites tried to find, did a query for Siesta Key, and our properties should have been in the search results for sure. But this one tiny boutique, like rental company that probably hasn't updated their website in a year had static pricing. It's like pricing starting at $500 a night. And then so that's the only thing that the LLM picked up. And those were the only search results because it was the query asked for pricing. And so it's not seeing your dynamic pricing, it's seeing just this like text that was on this website. So that to me was really eye-opening in how this search is going to change. And it's not enough that you just have pricing on your website. Like there's certain things that will be illegible or irreadable to the LLMs.
Well, what you were saying, Brandy, I just had something happen this weekend. I was looking at a place to book, kind of month to month type of booking for a place in September. And I was using ChatGPT. I was like, all right, like what's the monthly cost of this place? Like, here's what my requirements are. I was doing the whole thing. And it was like, oh, it's about X amount a month. And I was like, how do you know? Because I couldn't find it on the website. I couldn't find it on, any of the easy go-to places. Couldn't even find it on the Google Maps like suggestion piece and reviews. And it said that it went to a Facebook group and found them posts about, like in their Facebook group, they posted their monthly rental price for X, Y, and Z thing. And that's where it got the X amount. And for me, that's where I'm like, I go back to kind of multiple conversations that I've had the last couple of weeks with our data and AI summit, but AI agents prioritize speed and convenience and obviously all my personal priorities of what I want and don't want. But when you get something like that, yes, I got that answer fast, but how accurate is that answer? I don't know. I have to call the place now, verify, is it X amount, or was that from 2013 or 2015 or however long ago that Facebook post was posted in that group? So I think when it comes to the AI agents, reading this article for me, I got a little like, yeah, but you're still having to serve the human. The agent is a byproduct of that human, or an extension, I guess, maybe not even a byproduct. And so the customer side of things like doesn't really change much. It just gets a little bit faster and has to be more accurate. That's my thinking, but I don't know if you guys.
No, you're spot on. The fact that it found data that answered your question was impressive because you probably would have never found that. And now when you call, you have a data point of, well, it was $1,500 then. I expect it to be 2,000, whatever.
10 years ago, it was $50 a night.
Okay, now it's 6,000. But websites historically are built for humans and for Google. And now it's completely different. Agents don't look at photos. They look at photo descriptions. Agents can't read calendar rates if you have them wide open. You have to be able to provide that data to them. So it's a completely different way of surfacing things. If you're looking for a house that has a double oven for a Thanksgiving, that's not going to be in anybody's listing anywhere. It's going to be in a photo. So you have to actually distill that information into text that then the agent can go read. And that's what the OTAs have probably teams and teams of engineers doing. And if you don't have a solution for it, like a Kismet out there, you can't compete, and the OTAs will absolutely dominate. So we're in a completely different website world where the traffic was built for eyes and for ease of scroll and look and click. That world doesn't exist, as of 6 months ago anymore.
Yeah, I think it's like, think about all the time or all the sessions we've seen where it's like how to create the best listing description, and it has all this flowery language that is like mentioning all these things, and really what it's going to be is just like a bullet point list of what's in the house and all these photos. I mean, I think it will take a very long time for photos to not be important, but because obviously the end user is going to be like, I want to see the house, but we are seeing a dramatic reorganization of kind of like the power dynamics. And all of the money and time that people put into SEO to make sure that Google is like all, people putting white copy at the bottom of a white page on the website. So like Google is picking up, it's just like all sorts of little tricks that people have figured out over the time that just like are about to become totally irrelevant.
Yeah.
100%.
Good.
I was going to say, I was listening to a conversation on the Skiff Travel podcast with Seth Borko and I forget Galad's last name, but he's a venture capitalist in travel and done a lot of investments, and they've looked at companies like Muse and Cloudbeds and all these big players. And he was talking about AI agent swarms, basically, where it's like Michael's not just gonna have one AI agent. He's gonna have an AI agent for travel. He's gonna have an AI agent for kind of like his day-to-day household things. Maybe like, hey, don't forget to
hopefully.
Yeah, like, hey, not a robot, but like, hey, don't forget to pick up your wife's flowers because it's your guys' anniversary and the next, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, like little things like that. Your personal agent, your travel agent, your work agent. There's going to be a bunch of different agents, is what he was kind of describing as this swarm. And as I was thinking about this, like, yeah, it could be that. But the B2C, if that actually happens, B2C kind of disappears. It really comes B to A, truly. Like, it is a Expedia to agent, it's a booking to agent, it's Airbnb to agent. They're no longer going to interact with a true customer. Even though the agent is supposed to be an extension of you, it's still not you. It's not going to be fully you. Depending on that day and how you're feeling and what information you may have gotten from work or whatever, your mood can change, and the AI agent won't know that. And so, like, anyways, for me, there's just all these different shifts happening. Like you were saying, Michael, is happening so fast. I don't think it's going to play out that way. I don't see myself having an AI swarm anytime soon, because who knows? Like, at the end of the day, that seems like I hear everyone talk about agents, but I've never seen an agent in action. So I'm kind of just like curious, like, when is this really going to become the thing?
Agent will, anytime you search in ChatGPT, that's an agentic search. So you're sending it out.
I call that a low agentic search.
Sure.
But yeah.
For what everyone else
still knows about media, right? Like, everyone's like, oh, the AI agents are going to be the thing. You're like, ChatGPT, Claude, that's it. That's my agent. I have to type to it all day.
You can talk to it.
Yeah.
You can talk to it. It knows you. You've done how many years of searches already? It doesn't know you perfectly. It's still a ways off there. But the only thing it wants to do is to please you, Will. It wants
danger.
It does a really
it wants
bad
to find
job.
the best place for you, for the best price, for the best value, trust, etc. And the Skift article and how OTAs, they view their winning capabilities based around trust. And I think to some extent that's going to be very true. But as long as operators have in their sites clear plans on cancellation policies and returns, everything that the OTAs offer the traveler, if you can offer them as much, then my guess is the agentic search and the agents are going to ultimately prefer the direct booking sites, the long tail of the industry. So
I think the only point of like the only fear around that is like if down the road there's a partnership and like Claude now only like has a partnership with booking.com, I see that being like a very likely possibility, maybe not right now, but in the future. And a second key point is payment processing and being able to book in the LLMs. And I know that was scrapped, but I don't think that is forever.
It's not scrapped. It's coming soon.
It's coming soon. It's just a bigger pain point than they probably wanted to deal with. But that is the next function. And I can see a way where this actually could benefit an operator if you can just if your direct site can get pulled in and you can book in Claude on your direct site. But it's like, how are the OTAs going to muscle their way in and make that extremely difficult to happen? So
exactly.
Well, money, right? They're
money.
They're going to spend
money.
They're going to spend lots and lots of money on ads. I don't think anybody will be exclusive. If anything, they have the ability to go do what Google had the ability to do and didn't really capitalize on, which has become their own OTA. They can go out and source their own individual traffic. Now, there's 10 million things they should do first to monetize. But over time, that's a very realistic thing to do. And they want to then, in that case, go direct and then get a margin of everything that happens. So I ultimately think it's a really, really big benefit for the long tail, for the booking direct cohort. But our industry is really slow to adapt to new technology. And the folks that don't very seriously risk going 100% dependent on the OTAs. If you don't adapt, you will almost certainly be 100% unless you're getting good marketing with StayFi. You're going to be 100% OTA dependent. So
yeah, and Paul Manzi, always active in the comments. We appreciate you, but brought up the recent kind of exchange between Brian Chesky and Francis, the former founder of Sonder, because he released a new agentic travel planner called Odessia, and we've avoided kind of bringing it up on here because it's just a cloud wrapper. At this point, it's not really. It literally just it's not doing much. And on Paul's point that there's an agentic experience that will work for travelers, we're just not there yet. I think the Odessia is a great example of that. Like, if you want some entertainment, go and look at their X exchange. There's a little feisty back and forth with some people on the internet, but it's not, we're not at the level of where people are going to be fully dependent or, fully invested, I think, in these specific travel planners. If you can do almost all of that in another, app that you have. So that's another interesting one to watch. And again, if you want some fiery internet comments, you can go look at that X thread.
I thought Chesky handled it brilliantly.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, speaking of ads, before we move on to our next topic, we want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Built. They're helping restaurants and hotel F&B teams better understand their guests and create more personalized guest experiences that drive repeat visits. So if you care about loyalty and guest experience, it's worth checking out. Head to joinbuilt.com/GMH and you can find that link in the show notes. So, I guess it's an ad heavy day because our next topic is about World Cup ads. And so Airbnb and Marriott are both big World Cup sponsors. Marriott spent more money, but Airbnb's ads have been resonating more, garnering more views. And so it's an case of like, more money does not always mean you're going to have the best result. So what are your takes on this? Just a better ad, something that people resonated with? Is there something more underneath all of this?
I've been watching a reasonable amount, not an obsessive amount, of the World Cup. And it feels like every single time I turn it on, it's the Airbnb ad. It's, where the Jamaicans bring the speakers to England, it turns into punk rock. Fantastic ad. Airbnb has always been really, really good at marketing and PR. That said, on the flip side, Marriott spent buku dollars on ads, and I honestly don't remember what ad they're putting out right now. So it doesn't quite resonate with what's going on, which is the World Cup. That's why Airbnb's ad hits so well. And I think if we look at
Michael,
total,
it's not just the World Cup, it's how they display the World Cup with the different cultures and different countries interacting with each other, supporting each other. All the anti-media display that we've had in the last couple of years, it's actually showing that. And sorry to cut you off. I just felt like I only see Marriott Bonvoy. I just see them advertising Bonvoy everywhere in terms of that. And that's their target. They're growing loyalty numbers, quote unquote. Airbnb is trying to get you to daydream and hopefully book an experience or a place or whatever they're trying to do. So I think there's just different approaches.
100%. And Marriott has spent $40 million across its brands in the first half of 2026. Airbnb spent almost the same, $38 million. But again, what we're talking about on here, what's resonated and what's landed. Now, I will say I've seen the Marriott or the Bonvoy in the background of the soccer field on the field.
Same.
I have definitely noticed that. But in terms of 30-second ads, Airbnb's done a great job.
Yeah, it's playing on like the you're watching this ad that's actually just like a story that you can get emotionally invested in. At the end, you're like, it's Airbnb. Instead of being like, this is, Marriott.
Well, it's what we're seeing on our Instagram Reels or TikTok, right? Like how many videos did I send of you guys of like South Korea and Mexico, of them like partying together in Mexico and having like all these funny, hilarious moments? You're like, that's what everyone's watching right now. that is literally what the Scottish army, or what do they call it? The Tartan?
The Tartan Army.
Tartan. Yeah, like watching all that, hilarious. All the places in Boston ran out of beer. So funny, so stereotypical, so awesome. Like everyone's expecting that. So that's what we're all engaged with. And I think Airbnb saw that and just really pushed it into the ad.
Well, it also kind of, I think Airbnb has always been like the cool younger kid, even though
Yeah.
they are absolutely a mature public facing or public traded company.
Yeah.
But I think Marriott still can't shake the like, oh, we're like, it's like that Steve Buscemi meme from SNL, like, and he's like, what's going on, kids, or something like that. And it's like, yeah, you're not, they need, I don't know, maybe some younger people on the marketing team, but if they really want to drive home the Bonvoy part, but I think that they might get better results if they don't try to like drown you in their logos and all of that from the get. They just deliver a good story that resonates with the moment, and then at the end you see that it's Marriott.
Preach.
We're talking about this like it's the Super Bowl ad, but it really is. I mean, how many millions of people over a month and a half?
It's bigger than the Super Bowl, it's so many different, and both of these companies are international, and so you're appealing to such a wide variety of people. So
yeah, 100%.
I mean, Airbnb again, just crushing the PR game. It's really, and marketing, they really masterclass.
The other company crushing the PR game, and it's not a company, it's a country, is Cape Verde. We talked about it, Cabo Verde. I don't even know the name of the country. In the soccer games, I think they're called Cape Verde, but they used to be called that, and they're now Cabo Verde. Brandy, you had heard of them because there's apparently a large
population in Boston, in New England, and one of my friends is Cape Verdean, and so it's like there's like this, and Boston, and I think in New England in particular, because it was a Portuguese colony for all, and there's a huge Portuguese population in New England as well. So there's just like, I know people who never get to get excited for like their national team are like they are so excited. It's so fun to watch.
Yeah, this is like the White Lotus moment for Cape Verde. It looks like an absolutely beautiful island. Search for it coming out of the United States is up more than 800% on Expedia. So people are curious about it. And a small country of 550,000 people now are going to have an influx of new travel and tour, whereas historically, 25% of all of their GDP is travel. So this is huge for their entire country. And this is what sports can do in pop culture, whether it's a musician like we talked about with Bad Bunny in Puerto Rico last summer, Taylor Swift over the past year or two. Now it's the World Cup, telling the world about a country that 90% of the world hadn't heard about. And now, turns out to be a beautiful country. They have some new hotels opening up this year, which is perfect timing for them. And they had a really good World Cup. They almost beat Argentina.
I know, which is crazy. So I didn't see the game because I was up here, but then I was checking the scores to see like these games, and I was like, wait a minute, they scored twice. Like it wasn't a total blowout against Argentina. Like they can hang their hat on that. That is pretty incredible.
100%. I was just going to say the same thing that Michael said. It's the power of live tourism, right? Like just the ability to see that 800% increase search on Expedia just shows you what happens when loyal fans and a country in reality get behind what's going on. And it's so cool. So I think that's just amazing to see. You took all the examples, Bad Bunny, Taylor Swift, you think about Formula One. I think about a lot of EDM, dubstep, like DJs that have done residencies at like the Sphere or whatever. They bring people where they're going, which is so cool. And I think that's, again, power of live tourism and the reason why people need to travel.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a bunch of smaller countries that have made it in because of the expansion this year. So you have like Bosnia and Herzegovina, Curacao, Cabo Verde, like all these smaller countries. I wonder, in a year if we look at what their tourism rates have been, because now just so many people on are just more aware of like where they are, what they have to offer, and they always do those little like reels of the country before the games and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see how all countries kind of benefit from this little bit of publicity.
Well, Will, I hope the Skiff team is tracking this and in 12 months comes out with a fun report showing Cabo Verde, Cape Verde, up 200% year over year in travel. That'd be awesome.
Oh yeah. Our Skift research, editorial, and advisory teams are all tracking this stuff. So it's going to be fun to see. I'm excited. I know there's a lot of stories continuing to come out, but yeah, I'm excited for the year recap, the fun visit.
Awesome. Well, before we wrap, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Maurice, who's coming to us live from Kenya. So I don't know how many people we've had tune in from Kenya, but really, really happy that you're joining in. Love the comments. So definitely keep engaging with us live. We love hearing from everyone. And of course, Paul Manzi and John N., we love hearing from you every week as well. And for the two of you, what do you have going on this week?
Michael?
No, you go first, buddy.
Well, tomorrow, like I said, is my 1 year at Skift, but I'm also picking up my 5-month-old puppy from her 2-week training. So she's officially coming home, and I'm pumped because I have so much planned. But yeah, outside of that, it's just a busy week, heads down. We're really building for Skift Global Forum in September, and the three of us are going to be a guest eval in Madrid the week prior. So lots to prepare for as the second half of 2026 is going crazy, but it's been good. So outside of that, it's just head down and enjoying the small moments, like picking up my dog and going on walks and stuff. So
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. When you say the second half of 2026, it blows my mind. We're already halfway through, but also so many moving parts in the rest of this year. It's like,
yeah,
I know.
everything
It's really about
is-
to kick into overdrive.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like enjoy, like get your vacations in now. Request your PT if you haven't done anything this summer. Like get some rest time before the chaos hits. If you can, if you're an operator and this is your peak season, I'm so sorry. Get some rest in October, September,
Book your
November.
trips now for
Yeah.
after season. So
Yeah,
you have
get
something to look forward to.
Exactly. Get your December trip in or something like that.
Yeah.
Be good. But it was good to be back on the show. Thanks for letting me crash your guys' party every now and then.
Of
Welcome.
course. We're happy to have you on. And now I have to go. I'm driving back to Boston, hoping to beat a storm. And my cat is burrowed into the box spring in my bed. So wish me luck on getting her out of there to get her home.
Good luck. Good luck. I don't envy you right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in live, and for all of our listeners who are listening later on in the download, and to our sponsors, StayFi and Built. And we will see you all next week.
Have a good one. If you're trying to drive more direct bookings right now, here's the reality. They don't just magically happen. You have to actually stay in front of your guests. And one tool I've actually been recommending for a very long time is StayFi. What's really cool about them is that they turn your Wi-Fi itself into a data capturing tool. So every time a guest connects, you're collecting contact info, and not just from the one who booked, but from everyone who's staying in the property. And that's a huge unlock because most operators don't even own even a fraction of their guest data. And in a time of AI, data is king. From there, StayFi actually helps you turn that into bookings with automated emails, post-stay follow-ups, and campaigns that bring guests back. I've seen portfolios collect tens of thousands of guest emails and more than double their direct bookings in less than a year with this StayFi feature. And if you don't have time to run all of that, or you prefer to be more hands-off, they now offer managed email marketing services where their team just handles it for you. They've also made their setup way easier with a new hardware option called Aginet, which is up to 40% cheaper than traditional setups. So if you've been thinking about building a real direct booking engine, now is a fantastic time to start. Head to stayfi.com/goodmorninghospitality to learn more and to get 50% off your first 3 months. That's stayfi.com/goodmorninghospitality.